Hello there. Happy May the 2nd be with you, Mike.
May the 2nd also be with you.
Appreciate it.
How you say that back? I don't know that.
I
don't know. I'll be honest though, time ran away from me. I had the idea of doing an off-key version of Battle of the Heroes for our opening, just for this week, and then I just didn't.
You would have got me with that one if it were surprised.
I know it would have. It would have been a fun surprise, but I ran out of time. I spent all day packing up the toy room.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Maybe whenever the 30th anniversary comes around, or the actual anniversary of the movie, which is in 18, 17 days or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some people commenting so far. Commander Cook and Dante. Dante Bayo. I don't know how to say that, so I'm saying Dante.
Well, so Date Bayo is what Naruto says in Japanese a lot. So I'm going to guess it's a Naruto reference.
I'm going to say eBay because that's what I see in there somewhere. eBay. Okay. That's my name for this commenter. But yeah, first live show. We appreciate it. We didn't go live for everybody this time. We did that last time, which was a lot of fun. But May the 4th, we're going to keep it Patreon live only. Naruto reference. All right.
I was right.
Okay.
I used to go to datebayo.com and download all my Naruto fan subs. That's how I watched Naruto back in the day.
Oh God. See, I don't know how to say that. I'll get made fun of if I say it the white Southern way. So I need a real name. Dante Bayo. Put a real name in there.
Probably. I'm gonna guess
Dante.
I'm gonna guess his name.
I'm sure he probably doesn't want to be called Dante though.
I don't know. His name's in his name.
But what if it's not though? There's two people that comment a lot on Out of the Basement and Monday Night Figure Ball. They're both have Dante in their names, but neither one of them are named Dante.
Oh, that's
it's like Dante's. It's like Dante's toys and Dante's.
Maybe
displays or something. Maybe
Clerks reference. Maybe. I don't know. Oh man, I almost just
Esteban. See,
Esteban.
Look at that. Esteban. All right, I'll have to remember that. I'm sure I'll forget. Just remind me as we go on all the time if I forget in the future. But welcome Patreon members. Thank you guys, of course, for being Patreon members. Hold on. Always.
Hold on. Was I right about Dante being from Clerks? Did I guess right twice on your name reference? Also, did you watch The Floor where Dante almost made it to the end? On the Floor, hosted by Rob Lowe.
I don't think so.
The dumbest the dumbest TV video or like TV show game show. That's what it is. I've ever seen, but it's so addicting. I hate it. I hate it so much, but I watch every episode. They
Wow, I haven't seen that
There's people, they have a square on the floor and they have a topic and they go up against someone else on a topic and they just have to name stuff on a screen, and whoever loses their time first, the other person gets their square. And like, it's the dumbest competition because they're just naming stuff they see on a screen. That's it. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb. Anyways.
That is kind of wild.
No, apparently no. It's just that he got it from the .wo BitTorrent. And that's what
that makes sense.
Says. Yep. All right.
Pletho, thanks for joining.
You
can't remember the line?
Remember the hello thar? That's what Kenobi says.
Hello thar.
Hello thar.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't go see the movie anymore in theaters if you wanted to remember what that quote was, if you forget, but
I'll just watch it at home. We have
about
Revenge of the Sith at home.
That is true. But your screen's not like 50 yards big.
No, but mine has cool LED lights that go all over it and make it look
That is true.
more immersive, I guess.
That is true. But yeah, we'll talk about, because I am a little upset at how limited episode 3 is in theaters. So we'll talk about that. That's in the show notes. Early on, pretty early on, we'll get to that. But we're going to have a long show, so I feel like we might as well. You want to go ahead and just get going?
Yeah, we can just get going. Hi there. Welcome to Black Series Cantina. What are we on? 95?
Episode 95.
Is this Black Series Cantina 95? Sounds like it's the year 1995. Everything was 95 in the year 95.
Yeah. And
yeah.
And I was going to say, all week, ever since last episode, and especially leading up to this May the 4th stream, I really thought 95 was going to be the one. I thought we were going to get the new Anakin. I thought we were going to get it. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it. Don't spoil it.
That's true. We'll talk about it, but I thought 95 was going to be the one, but we'll just have to wait. But if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I am Zach, and of course joined by Mike Case.
I'm always here. I'm Mike Case.
And we have a big episode for you today covering a lot of stuff. We have a lot to catch up on, and we have to cover the May the 4th reveals. We have a lot of news to get to.
That's why we're doing it today. We're doing it on Friday. We don't normally record on Fridays. I've got other things to do on Friday, Zach. Don't you know that? Doesn't Hasbro know that?
Yeah, you're pretty busy today, right? You have like another thing to record later or something?
No, we actually moved that to tomorrow because my thing that I usually do on Saturday nights got canceled. So
okay.
Crisis averted, but yeah, today was going to be pretty crazy. But now I have plenty of time to continue packing up my toy room because I didn't announce this last episode, but I did officially buy a house. I own
Congrats.
a home. I'm a homeowner now.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No basement though, but a decent toy room. And the cool thing is that I'm a homeowner. So if I do want to do anything crazy with like hanging shelves or just making wild changes,
you can do it.
I don't have to worry about getting my deposit back. I will say my current landlord, super cool. He thinks I'm like the coolest guy in the world because I do like YouTube and stuff. And he's like, "Oh no, you guys have been so great. You're getting all your deductible money back. You're getting all of it back." And I was like, "Really?" Like,
oh, perfect.
We scuffed up the walls. He's like, "You've been here for 4 years. You're fine. Like I'll have to repaint anyway. You're fine." And I was like,
"Yeah,
that's great." Yeah.
Well, congrats. Welcome to the club. You'll start building some equity now.
Yeah, build that equity.
Yeah, there you go. That's always fun. It's always fun to look at
portfolios. I don't know anything about money.
Well, that's kind of different, but I'll give it to you.
All right, thanks. Thanks, buddy.
I mean, unless you're getting into real estate, like different type of real estate properties, but that's a whole other topic. We're here to talk about Star Wars figures.
I'm gonna go for one. Yeah, let's talk Star Wars.
And there's a movie that is in theaters. Well, was in theaters that everybody knows who's been a listener to this podcast for a long time, and it came back in theaters. Of course, we're talking about episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And Mike, I'm ashamed to admit, but I'm also not ashamed. I went to go see it twice in theaters, and it was amazing. Both.
Your favorite movie in theaters?
Well, I feel like the second time might have been a little much, but it was actually it was worth it. It was worth it.
No. I think if you really love, because seeing Star Wars in theaters is a different experience. We just talked about this than seeing it in your home, because you can. It used to be back in the day, back when the original Star Wars came out, Empire Strikes Back. They weren't on VHS. There was no streaming services. You couldn't watch them at home. So I think Star Wars, the first Star Wars movie, I think it was in theaters for like a year, because that's the only way you could watch
77.
it. Have it on, yeah. You couldn't watch it on VHS. You couldn't watch it. They didn't put it on TV.
And it was so popular when it came out.
It was so popular. So they kept it in theaters. That was back in the day when movies would stay in theaters longer than like a week and then hit streaming. Because that seems to be what happened after COVID. Was your movie, if it doesn't take off in that first week, it's not in theaters anymore. You missed your chance to see it in theaters if you couldn't make it.
There's so many movies now.
Yeah.
Where me and Jenna, who's my wife for people who don't know, we'll look at a trailer and be like, should we go see that? And be like, we'll wait 2 months and watch it on Hulu, or something like that.
Yeah. Or
we'll get it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes less than that.
Less than that. There have been times where it's literally, I waited 3 weeks to go see a movie. It's not in theaters anymore, but if I wait another week, it's on streaming.
I feel like there was a movie, I wish I could remember what it was. We went to go see it, and then we got home, and the next week it was on a streaming service, and we were kind of pissed because we obviously paid.
Why did you even go see it in theaters? Yeah. I will say though, but my point was, if you really love that movie, you should go see it in theaters. I regret back when Empire was in theaters in 2020, I regret not seeing it in theaters. But also it was 2020, and who wanted to go to a theater in 2020? It was just one of those things.
Yeah. And regret, it's funny you bring up that word, because that was why I went a second time. Because the first time I went, we were celebrating my brother-in-law's birthday, so I had a group of 8 people go. We were in the very back row, so the sound was okay, but it wasn't surround sound. It I didn't the chair wasn't vibrating whenever big things happen on the screen. Not from it being 4DX or anything, but just from it being so loud. And then it was we went on the Tuesday, and the last day was Wednesday, which is really dumb because you would think Lucasfilm would want it running through May 4th and then give people another weekend. So people had one weekend and then half of a work week to go watch it in theaters. For people with a lot of kids, I imagine that could be kind of hard to schedule out if you already had something. Yeah, exactly. Give people 2 weekends to get there. So
and we saw when Godzilla Minus Color came out. That was supposed to only be in theater for a week, but it was so popular they just kept it going, and they kept it going until it wasn't popular anymore. So I feel like they should do that, because I do feel like Revenge of the Sith was popular enough and made enough money to where they should have kept putting it longer. It
finished as the second best re-release as far financially to make the most money, the second most money for a re-release of a movie.
That's crazy.
And yeah, to not have it run through another weekend. So it was on that Monday. Yeah, it was on that Tuesday, and I was asking Jen, I was like, hey, I really kind of want to go see it again because I want to sit more in the middle, so it's a better experience. And then, and plus Tuesdays here in Louisville, most theaters are discount days. So we picked the best theater in Louisville with the best screens, or one of the escape theaters. And it was so worth it because there's a scene where one of the destroyers is leaving, and you get an overhead shot, and the whole my chair was shaking of vibration because of how loud it was, and it was amazing. So I definitely enjoyed it even more the second time. Honestly, you can really immerse yourself. Some of the scenes, I actually did get emotional watching some of the scenes, because when you're in theater, I feel like you can lose yourself in the movie a little more. Specifically, for some reason, anytime I'm watching something Star Wars and Leia's theme hits, that gets me every time. Ever since Carrie passed,
it's such a good. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one hits.
And it's only in those 2 movies. It's in Revenge of the Sith, and I think in A New Hope. I don't think they ever really reused Leia's theme in Empire or Return of the Jedi. I think they may use it in Force Awakens.
Do they use it whenever they kiss Han and Leia kiss?
No,
Or
that's the Han and Leia love theme from Empire Strikes Back, which is a different
so
love
they don't go
theme.
back to it until like Force Awakens and
think
probably
they
Rise of Skywalker when she dies.
I think they have it. I think it's
imagine.
in Rise of Skywalker when you first see Leia. It might be in Last Jedi when Leia does the Mary Poppins thing, but like I can't. It's like not in any of the OT except for A New Hope, and it's such a good. It's such a good.
It's so good.
Leitmotif theme.
And ever since she passed, like that one gets me. That one
so
gets me.
good,
And
yeah.
you know, watching the Order 66 scene on the big screen again for the first time in 2 decades was awesome. And
Yeah.
so it was a great time. So I hope all of our listeners who went had a great time as well.
I didn't go see it, and I regret it a little bit, but I was too busy. It was one of those things like this week was like the worst week for that.
Yeah,
movie
you
to
had
come
a
out.
lot.
I had too much going on. I just couldn't.
You know, maybe they could help you out and they could leave it in theaters for a month, but they're like, nope.
If it were in theaters like next week or the week after, no problem going to see it.
Yeah, I might say this might be a hot take, so let me know if this is a little too spicy.
Oh, I can't wait.
Revenge of the Sith, though it's not the best Star Wars film, it might be the best theater experience because of how action-packed it is. I feel like it might be the best theater experience. What do you think?
You're okay.
And I've seen
Probably
episode 6 and 5 in theaters too.
Probably. I think objectively it's not the best film, and it could be your favorite film.
No,
That's
it's not.
fine.
Yeah.
There are people. If it's your favorite film, 100%, go you. It's not the best Star Wars film. It's not a good movie. Like it's a fun movie. It's got a lot of cool scenes, but like it's not a good movie. Like it's just not. But like it still has a lot of great stuff in it. I still love Star Wars. But and like I said, if it is your favorite, don't let me take anything away from that. It's just I'm talking about pletho. I'm talking about like line delivery, direction, writing. Like it's got
Although
a lot of
it's
issues, okay.
It is significantly better than the previous two, in my opinion, at least.
Sure, but like if you're comparing it to those two movies, sure. But if you take it standalone on its own, I'm gonna say no. But I'll also honestly say that no Star Wars movie is objectively like perfect. None, not one. All of them have flaws. If you want to take a fine-tooth comb and go through every Star Wars movie, you can find instances of flaws, bad writing, lazy, bad line delivery, bad direction. Like that's true for all of them. That's true for every Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like Star Wars movies because they're a perfect movie. You like them because they're fun movies. You like them for the emotions,
The story, yeah,
bring,
the
story,
nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. Well, nostalgia is weird because like it really depends on. This is where it comes down to when you first watched it. Because like for me, the prequels aren't super nostalgic because I was an adult when they came out. But the OT is super nostalgic. But it's like one of those things like you don't.
Yeah, that's why you like all the Shadows of the Empire.
Exactly.
Stuff,
Exactly.
yeah.
And you know what? Like Shadows of the Empire isn't that great either, but it's something I liked as a kid. Because when you're a kid, you don't know if something's good or bad. You just know if you like it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like I didn't know the movie Hook. The movie Hook panned. People, reviewers, critics hated it. But like growing up, Hook was one of the best movies ever. Like I had no idea. I was an adult. I saw the reviews for it and I'm like, how is it like a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever? Like, how is that possible? It's a great movie. And that's because I saw it when I was a kid. And like, you just don't care about a lot of that stuff. It's just down to that feeling you get when you're watching it. And that's the prequels for a lot of people, in their 20s.
Yeah,
early
me.
30s.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine.
But I was just thinking, what Star Wars movie would be more entertaining to watch in theaters than this one? And I was I don't think
it's got a lot of good.
I don't think there is one.
Big visuals. No, it's got a lot of big visuals. It's got a lot of good. Once you get past, like it starts real good.
It does bog down in the middle a little bit.
Then you have that real slog in the middle.
Yeah.
And then it's setting up all the chess pieces for that end. And once Order 66 hits from, or
it's like
even
all gas, no brake.
The Mace Windu, arresting Palpatine. From there to the end, it's pretty much a thrill ride for sure. Absolutely.
You know what makes me the most mad in that movie? What? It's the dumbest thing that the Jedi Council does. So Anakin, and we know from the Clone Wars as well, from hindsight, Anakin is obviously one of their best Jedi that they have, most powerful. Sure. Of course, he has emotional issues and stuff like that, but he's coming off of killing a Sith Lord, Count Dooku, right? He's obviously, if there's a ranking system in the Jedi, if he's not at the top, that propelled him into like the top echelon.
Did they know he was a Sith Lord though? Did they know he was a Sith Lord at that point?
I don't know, but Yoda, Yoda couldn't kill him. Yoda fought him face to face in Attack of the Clones.
Yoda could have killed him. Yoda could have got him.
Okay, but he didn't.
Played dirty. If he had played dirty, and if Yoda hadn't had to rescue Obi-Wan and Anakin, Yoda would have had him no problem.
That is fair, but circumstances being, Yoda didn't get it done.
1v1. If you do 1v1, Final Destination, no items.
Yeah, I think Yoda wins, but he didn't. So Anakin did. Anakin's powers have doubled since they last met.
What does that even mean? Is it like it's like power levels? It's like a Dragon Ball Z thing. There's like
he went from 4,500 to 9,000. Yeah.
What does that even mean, Anakin? Your powers doubled.
But he kills Count Dooku. So like you would think the Jedi Order, whenever we know where Grievous is, Obi-Wan and Anakin do stuff all the time together. Why is Obi-Wan going alone? This makes zero sense. And then, of course, he turns to the dark side.
That's
Jedi earned it.
The
Jedi earned it.
That's why we play Ki-Adi-Mundi. Because it's literally Ki-Adi-Mundi that recommends that sends Obi-Wan.
I suggest Obi-Wan should go.
Exactly. It's Ki-Adi-Mundi.
And I'm assuming
he's the bad guy.
So I'm assuming that once Anakin joined the council, they thought the need that Obi-Wan doesn't have to have an apprentice follow him around anymore.
Well, he wasn't.
Maybe that's why.
At that point anyway, but yeah, probably. They needed to spread out their guys.
Yeah.
They need to spread them out.
Yeah, but that kind of opened the door for Anakin to turn.
That and many things, I guess.
Yeah. But
Anakin went from I gotta save Padme to I'll kill all these kids. I'll do that. He went to that real fast, and it just always. Even people are like, no, watch the Clone Wars. It makes his turn feel a lot better. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. You get more time with him, sure, but that's just such a hard turn.
I think the thing
it's one thing to cut Mace's hand off to like stop him from killing the Emperor or whatever, but it's like a whole other thing just to go to like, I'm gonna murder all these kids. It's not like they're Tusken Raider kids where like, it's such a hard turn,
Tusken Raider kids don't count.
They don't count. They're family people.
Oh my gosh. On that note, so I know we're gonna get into some more Revenge of the Sith talk here in a second. So let's go ahead and jump into Fine Editions.
Fine addition to my collection.
All right, Mike, I'm going to go first because I'm going to make me small because we got to start it off with something.
I'm so confused right now.
You know what we're talking about. So
I do.
We want to give a big special shout out to Looper Customs. I just don't have words almost at how generous that this gift is for both Mike and I. So I'm going to share the screen here. Looper Customs sent me, and you can go on my Instagram to look at the gift that Mike and I were given. He sent me a Darth Vader in his Bacta chamber, and the paint detail is absolutely insane. All the amount of work that went into this. And he sent Mike a fully posable Pong Krell, which is crazy. He's missing a toe, as you can see down there. Mike, is your first time seeing the toe missing?
I see it now,
yeah. But how generous is this?
Customs fault. That is Zach's fault for dropping it on the ground. Okay.
But on my kitchen table, all right. So it wasn't that far of a drop, but it did break. The toe did there. But look how insane this is. Like how much work went into this to make this Darth Vader thing. And then here's a picture of Pong Krell, like fully articulated.
So it's so good.
Is insane. Like the knees, elbows, shoulders. I don't think he has butters, but if he did, that'd be crazy. But all the paint detail on him is nuts. So shout out Looper Customs. And there's Rex for scale.
Brandon from the Star Wars team, who we saw today, but he posted on there, and then I had to respond. And be like, "Yo, this is my number one from the line, and I'm going to love this custom, but doesn't mean I won't buy one when Hasbro makes one." And he just did his little like note, his little note thing.
Yeah.
Emoji that he uses.
But shout out. So I'm going to send this to Mike after he moves. So I'm holding on to it for now. So I got me a nice Pong Krell. I'm going to put him on my Clone Wars display for a little bit, I guess.
I mean, he deserves to be there until I take it.
I don't know. I might just get too used to him, and then you might be able to look.
I think I won't drive to your house.
All right. I guess I'm going to have to move and not tell anybody where I live now because I'm stealing this bad boy. But yeah, Looper Customs, like so go follow Looper Customs if you're watching and listening to this, because absolutely insane, very generous. And I did have to, so you can't tell in these pictures, but I guess you can see the strap is missing, but it's down at the bottom. The strap on his right shoulder, so our look at the left, is missing. So I had to drill a hole through it. Like I had to take the top off, drill a hole, and then I was able to glue on the cord for his oxygen mask, but I couldn't get the other one on. But it looks great, so I'm extremely happy. So very generous, and thank you, Looper Customs. Now we can get into normal fine editions. And he gave us a nice letter, which I took a picture of.
Yeah.
And I did want to read one thing from the letter. I guess I won't read it since I don't have it pulled up right now. But he did say we are definitely a top toy podcast. So I did want to
I'm glad
throw that out there.
So, because all the toy podcast lists don't seem to think we exist, and that happens a lot. So
that is true.
It's all good. It's fine. It's fine.
I guess we're such a niche. We only cover one line and kind of talk about some other ones every now and then. But
yes.
Yeah. But all right, let's jump into normal fine editions now. I guess Mike, you can go first.
Oh, okay.
Since you're big.
Yeah.
Since you're big.
I am big. Well, I mean, I feel like we're going to have some of the same things, so I'll start with that if you want to jump in. But I did get my Star Wars Celebration. Did we talk about this?
We talked about the reveal, but not you getting it.
Okay. Yeah, because I got mine this Saturday morning. I can't remember if we talked about this. It feels like it's been so long.
I'm pretty sure we covered it on the show, like the reveal. We covered the reveal, but not the
reveal, but getting it, and the fact that we got it so soon after that happened.
You got to fine edition it for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because we did Thursday. Was it recording Thursday night or Friday night?
Ooh,
we recorded Friday night. And I would have gotten it that Saturday morning. I got it like less than 12 hours after I ordered it. So I got it that Saturday morning.
Yeah, the next day, which was crazy.
And I was up at 6 a.m. So I got it. It was left on my door at like 5:30 a.m. And I got up at 6 a.m. because I had to pre-order this, which I haven't opened yet. But this is the Figura Obscura. It's their kind of spring release. They always do one. Last year it was like the gods of Egypt, and they had Bastet and Anubis.
I like that set too, the gods of Egypt.
This year we got Ganesha, the Hindu god of overcoming obstacles, I guess. And he's a big elephant, and he is gorgeous. The box
inspirational.
Is gorgeous. It's so good. I haven't had a chance to open it yet, but and that's actually going to be true for all of them, because I think I'm waiting until I move to open this stuff, and then I want to have like one big opening party, like a live stream where I just kind of open everything.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So if we haven't talked about this, I will say in person, this Ronin box is absolutely absolutely gorgeous. It's
stunning.
It's stunning. Even my wife, like, she doesn't care about that stuff, but when she looked, she's like, "Oh wow, that's beautiful! Like, it's so nice." I did complete that wave, the currently releasing wave of Black Series figures with the Phase 1 Rex and the Grand Moff, not Grand Moff, just a regular Moff.
Grand Moff.
Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
He's an okay Moff, I guess.
Mid Moff Gideon.
Mid Moff Gideon. There we go. And then, of course, I did get the Walmart figures, the Revenge of the Sith ones, and we'll talk. I don't want to talk about the shipping issues. I feel like we'll talk about the shipping issues.
Yeah, it's on the docket for later on.
I saw that, but I got more. I got 2 of the clones. I got 2 R2s. I got Count Dooku, and I got Kit Fisto. I sold one R2 and my one Dooku to friend of the show and VIP member. Brian Dickey, because his got canceled. Shout out, his got canceled, so I sold him mine for just retail price or whatever, just to get him what he needed if he didn't care about the boxes. Because they were not good boxes. And again, we'll get into that. But that's my fine additions.
Awesome. I'll take your place here. So pretty much, I'll start off with something different than Mike. I got this Vegeta 2-pack that I'm really excited for. Haven't opened it up yet, but it is a third-party figure. And you get a battle-damaged Saiyan Saga Vegeta and a normal Vegeta here on the other side that you can't see, and incredibly hyped for this. I've just been so busy with all the Revenge of the Sith stuff to even think about opening this, but when I do, that's going to be a very fun time because everybody knows I've really been wanting the Scouter Vegeta with the tail version, and third-party company did an amazing 2-pack first, so, and I'll probably, if whenever SHF releases the official Z Scouter Vegeta with the tail, I'll probably still get it just to support the line, since obviously if I want thing, I'm going to buy to support it, and it'll be better like the non-battle damage version, but the battle damage version, it might be one of my favorite DBZ figures I have, and I haven't even opened it yet. Next up, I have so much stuff, I feel like, so I wrote down a list. Yeah, we talked about them already, but all of the Revenge of the Sith stuff. Of course, everybody knows how much this packaging means to me. As a kid, seeing this stuff for the first time. Got the 501st Trooper, got Count Dooku. I fortunately got lucky with the cards. We'll get into the bigger issues later on. Also got R2-D2. And of course, picked up Kit Fisto. There is one missing. Of course, I don't have Commander Cody yet. But shout out to Commander Cook. I'm going to see him at ICCCon, and he got 2 of them for me. And the good thing is he found a bunch in store, and he got me 2 nice crispy ones to keep one of them on card. So pretty excited about that. And we're gonna dive into these a little later. I do want to talk about character selection and just the Revenge of the Sith cards as a whole. But my big pickup, Mike, I'm doing it. I've tried to hold off, and you know this. I've tried to hold off on Hot Toys for so long. I've been close many times. Like, I've had the Vader. I sold the Vader. I bought this Vader. I had a Force Awakens Kylo. I sold that. I'm back in, and I think I might be back in for good, but I'm only doing Revenge of the Sith. So I bought the 501st Clone Trooper. I got an incredible deal. I got the deluxe one. That comes with a 332nd helmet and the Phase 1 501st helmet. I got it for $210 cash. That's cheaper than the normal one goes for. So I got the deluxe one for a crazy amount. And the guy, he was selling it on Mercari. And I noticed he was shipping it from Kentucky. And I was like, well, you're not allowed to do this on Mercari. I messaged him and said, hey, are you in Louisville by chance? And he said, yeah. And I said, I'll give you $210 cash, because that's what he was asking for. So that way I don't have to pay like the buyer's fee, shipping, and tax, which made it $239 after all that. And he made an extra $21 because he didn't have to pay the whatever, like the 10% selling fee and taxes and all that crap. So he made a lot of extra money. So, and of course, Mercari blocked all the messages once it realized what we were doing. But I screenshotted his phone number before, they blocked it. So was able to do that. We met up at a Walmart parking lot and
like monitor your messages.
Yeah,
See that?
It was quick. It was quick too. I had to screenshot it from my notification that popped up on my phone because I knew like they were going to do it fairly quickly. And it was, when I opened the message, it was gone. So I think anything with a phone number on it or meetup, they block. And then I got an alert saying we detected blah 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 on your account. This is like a warning, blah blah. So I was like, all right, whatever. I don't use Mercari that often to where I care. But yeah, so I decided I'm gonna go. I bought a nice display case that hurt the pocket. That was over $200. Wilbon has it, and I saw it in person at his house, and I was like, that's amazing. I had to have it. It has like motion light. You walk up to it. It has different. It has different like three different.
Send me a link to that.
I will. You can get it for a good deal. I think they have like a $30 coupon sometimes to get it for instead of $230, $200 even. Yeah, motion sensor, and it's behind glass, 2 glass doors. It has 3 different light temperature options. So I'm really excited to get that.
I think I know which one you want. I've been hesitant because I've seen some bad reviews, and I'm like, I want someone that I know that gets it.
The one,
good.
This one. I've seen mostly good reviews, and I've seen it in person, and I fell in love with it. I told Wilbon, I was like, I have to have this. So,
because I was thinking about getting one of those for my new toy room too.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, and then if it's the same one.
So, are you gonna take your Vader that you have and use that in your Revenge of the Sith? Because technically, Vader was in Revenge of the Sith. So
I am gonna display this in that case, even though it's not. It's the cracked helmet Vader, even though it's not Revenge of the Sith. It's still. It does. It's still badass enough. And I'm kind of thinking about pre-ordering. I'm on the wait list for the really battle damaged Darth Vader, the one that comes with the super cracked helmet, broken mask, and like all the bits on the chest and his leg is all exposed. So I'll make this my normal Vader, and then that one just be a battle damaged Vader. And like, even though it's not technically a Revenge of the Sith, that would still look amazing on the shelf. But does that mean I'm getting Kit Fisto as well? See, probably, but that's right now.
Spirals. That's where it spirals.
I know. It's
you decided you have a collection, and now you have to fill out that collection, and it gets pricey quick when figures are $200+.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna try to stick with main characters, but if I'm having a drought, and if I have some, and all this is gonna be paid for by, like the TikTok money. Hopefully, I've had a really good TikTok months, 2 months in a row. So that's kind of what's inspiring this. So I need the TikTok views to. Commander Cook, I am getting Sidious, but we'll talk about that a little later on.
Sidious is actually what the impetus for this, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of like the okay, I have to do this now. So, but we'll get into that. That was my last fine edition here. So let's jump into, before we do listener emails, let's do a quick Patreon plug. If you want to support us on Patreon, we would really appreciate that. As you said, I'm getting into hot toys now, so Patreon would really help with that. But it also helps with things like paying for the podcast and the annual fees we have to pay for to host on Apple alone. Like, that's not even Spotify and everything else we host on, but just Apple is over $100. So Patreon really helps us out if you want to support the podcast. But if you want to support the podcast in another way by repping some merch, we launched a brand new merch store, and I personally think the merch is awesome. I'll pull it up in a minute, but look at this hat I got, Mike. Look at the quality.
Honestly, I feel like this hat. It's a bigger deal because, like, you went all out on this new merch store. So what is the merch store?
So I'm actually going to pull it up now. It is My Spread Shop. I'm pretty sure it's My Spread Shop / Black Series Cantina or something, or blackseriescantina.my spread shop. I'm going to share the screen right now so people looking. And I do want to stress, we don't make a lot of money on this. I actually lowered the price of this stuff in the settings to where I think the highest money we make per sale is like $3. So Mike and I aren't getting barely any money from this. It's mainly just I wanted cool merch for ourselves, and I was so tired of dealing with Teespring And I want other people who like
Don't
the
say that
podcast.
anymore. Don't give them. Don't shop at Teespring. don't run anything from.
Yes. I actually pulled all of our Teespring stuff from the store because like they're not shipping things. They're not giving it. They owe us money. They haven't.
Yeah,
I requested I'm sure you saw the email. I requested a payout like 3 months ago. Still haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
They're not shipping
People that have
things.
bought stuff from our store and never received it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
But
those beanies look super good. I'm definitely the upcoming cold Illinois winter y'all experience. Definitely gonna get this beanie right here and that gray. Love it.
I like the patch beanie with the little cutout for the logo there.
A good one, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, new merch store. We have hoodies. I think the material on this is so much better than the long sleeve one that I got from Teespring too. It's so much softer. And then look at the new merch. Look at this episode 3 inspired. That's our alt logo, and then we do have a new primary, the new or new alternate logo. Where's it at? So this stuff has the logo. It has this logo on the front and this logo on the back. I can actually model real quick. Look, I'm gonna model. Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, all right, we're doing it.
Front.
Oh, that's right. You're wearing it right now. Look at that.
And the back.
Yeah, it looks good.
Oh, should I do the full? I can put that on the hat too, and like send here and like do the whole thing. But yeah, the hats are super high quality. We have a couple of different hat options, beanie options, t-shirts, new mugs. So, and we have the classic logo with Figure and Dan on there with the blue and the maroon. I have some of that stuff on the way too. I bought a hat and a hoodie. I'm so glad I waited from Teespring to buy a hoodie until now because I bought this color, the sand color. I feel like that's perfect for the Cantina.
That's a good.
The sand colored hoodie.
It looks good for sure.
So if you want to support us, that's a great way to do it. Wear it at cons, wear it when you go hunting for toys or whatever. But I say we jump into some listener emails now.
Let's do it.
All right. If you want to shoot us an email, blackseriescantina@gmail.com. Keep the email segment alive. And we have to shout out Esteban joined our Patreon membership, the 1138 member today, to join us live.
Hey,
so
welcome
big shout
to the
out.
party, pal.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So the first email is from Jeff Esplin. He says, "Hey, Zach and Mike. After seeing Mike's Commander Cody arrive in a bag from Walmart, I accepted my fate of having ruined packaging, even though I also ordered 2. Somehow, my 2 came in a box and were both display worthy. So I wanted to let others know there's still hope when ordering from Walmart. I'll live in, and then another. So that's good. I got lucky. Mike didn't get so lucky on that count, did you?
I got unlucky on every instance. Again, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little further. Next part of the question says, I live in northern Kentucky around Cincinnati and have contemplated going to ICCCon. Do y'all think it's worth the 4-hour drive to Nashville? So I think so. If you're going to go for a day or two, I wouldn't go for all 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. But if you want to go Friday and Saturday, I think it's a really fun time. Especially if you need some figures to buy, you can usually get pretty good deals there. There's cool guests there this year. There's a lot of turtles, unfortunately, but Sebulba, the voice actor for Sebulba, is going to be there. Wicket is going to be there again. I'm blanking on his name for some reason right now.
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis, who plays Wicket, is going to be there. So there's some cool autographs you could potentially get from Black Series figures that we have out.
See, I'm going to do the opposite. No, it's not worth it. Don't go. Don't give them your money. They don't deserve you.
That is a Mike Case separate take because it is 1 day or 2 days too late to use BSC 10 for 10% off your ticket for ICCCon. I should probably try to get that changed to like Zach's TikTok, blah, 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 SWBS or whatever, 10. But I think it's worth it, especially if you want to like hang out with, walk the con floor with me or something, have a quick chat. But I think it's a fun time. But there are some questionable things about some involvement of people there. Next question is Joby1 is back with another email. Says, what's good, BSC fam? Missed emailing you all the last episode or two, so let's add a little hip hop Jedi flavor to the mix. What moment in all of Star Wars and all of Stars and all the wars would you say perfectly embodies the Jedi spirit? Could be from live action, animation, print media, or whatever. I appreciate you all, and thanks for taking my off-the-wall questions and running with them like they're normal. I'll try to ask a Black Series specific question next time. No worries. We appreciate every question. Much love, and may the Force be with you. All right, Mike, what moment in Star Wars do you think perfectly embodies the Jedi spirit?
Easy answer for me. Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Force projecting himself out, stopping the war, giving the Resistance the time to escape. Not fighting, because that's not the Jedi way, because that's what Yoda says. Wars not make one great. It's for knowledge and defense, never for attack. And that's what he does. He doesn't attack Kylo Ren once. He just dodges and does some cool moves. So Luke in The Last Jedi, 100%. That is the epitome of a Jedi.
That is true. I will say I really love whenever Yoda, it's in Last Jedi too, but after Luke has going on his,
It's almost like Rian Johnson understood what a Jedi was. It's so weird.
Oh my God, Cook. When Anakin marches into the temple and takes care of the... Oh, God. Mine is I really love, and I feel like I take the most, like, a lot. This quote inspires me quite a bit. It's whenever Yoda tells Luke, young Skywalker always looking onto the horizon. Because I kind of feel like, and never, like, in the moment. Because I kind of feel like I, in my personal life, do that a lot, too. I feel like a lot of times I look towards the future and never focus on like what I have now and like the present. So I take a lot of
back too.
Yeah. So, but in Last Jedi, it's after like whenever Luke is having his, his whole like thing where want the Jedi to end. Well, but Yoda like brings him back.
Failure, the greatest teacher is like that's a great line. That whole scene is so good.
Yeah. Whenever that's honestly probably one of the best scene, like no matter what people think of Last Jedi, like the Yoda and Luke scene in Last Jedi is amazing. It's one of the best there is, in my opinion. But great question. We appreciate these amazing questions that everybody sends in. This is from Lane, so shout out. Hey guys, what a Star Wars celebration. Anyways, I was listening to Lazy Sunday from Out of the Basement, and they were talking about the Turgle figure, and they had an interesting thought on it. What if in order to get more niche Glup Shitos in the line, they make them 4 or 5 POA like Turgle? I thought this was interesting because I don't think I need a super articulated figure for those ones that you're just putting on the background to fill out displays. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, if that's what it takes, then sure. If it's it has to be a background character though. I don't want like if it's a Cantina alien, I want that articulation personally. But if it's someone like Turgle, where you don't need a lot of articulation.
Yeah, it depends for me on what they do. Like if they're literally just going to stand on my shelf in like a Cantina scene, I don't care if they've only got 4 or 5 points of articulation. Honestly, like I think what they did with Turgle, where he's got articulated feet and arms, and then just kind of swivels on his hips and shoulders. Like I think that's okay, honestly. For a lot of those Glup Shitos, like Grindan. Does Grindan need to be in a crazy super combat pose for snitching on to the Empire on Han and Luke? Like, do you really need super articulation for that? Like, no,
I at least need elbows on Garandon. I'll say that. I at least need elbows on him. But he can be a traffic cone, from the hips down. Yeah. Like Queen Amidala, like what Commander Cook has. I don't need Queen Amidala to move at all. Just make her a traffic cone, hard goods.
In fact, make her a traffic cone from the waist down so you can have it light up. Like put some batteries down
exactly.
there. Exactly. Yeah. I was just on a podcast with Dan Larson and Jay from Geek Dad Life. Toy Geeks is their show, and they're going through the old Power of the Force 95, 96, 97, 1 year at a time. And I had 97, and we got to like the Emperor Royal Guard and Emperor Palpatine, and they were like the epitome of traffic cones. They were 2 points of articulation. Like their arms moved, and that's it. Their heads didn't. They had no feet from the waist down. There was just one solid chunk, and like that's all you need. Like that, they're just gonna stand there. Like that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So for certain characters, if it's what they have to do to get them in, if they can get them in without or with doing all the articulation, like then I'll take it. But if it's the only way, then I guess sure. So shout out Lane, our VIP member there. Next, we have a question from Grayson. Hey guys, question for this week. What would be your biggest nitpick in the line, big or small? Like how Lane Speeder Luke's would probably be the use of soft goods, and mine would be how some lightsaber hilts don't have pegs for belts like the Mace Windu, for example. Also, something cool I found out I wanted to share was the extra hands from the Luke and Yoda training pack fit the farm boy Luke. And he did attach a picture, so that's cool.
He did, yeah.
So if you have that set laying around, you can plug it in on your A New Hope Luke.
It also fits the pretty much any Luke Skywalker, but especially the Imperial Light Cruiser Luke. He's like holding his hand out. Like it looks good on some of those for sure.
Mm-hmm.
More figures
Biggest
should have
nitpick.
hands like that. Like that's a good nitpick. Like give us some
that is a good
hands.
nitpick.
Give us some more hands.
I think my biggest nitpick in the line, and see, it's weird thinking about what a nitpick is. Like if I say it might be too big of an issue to be a nitpick, but I guess also like if he's talking about Link through Luke's problem with soft goods, that doesn't seem like a nitpick to me. That seems like a big issue.
I think it's all about your perspective over.
Yeah, that's true.
Big issues or not.
I'll go paint detail on the Black Series is supposed to be the character driven line, and TVC is supposed to be the world building driven line. So why does the world building driven line characters have more paint detail and articulation now because they kept thigh swivel? They have more paint detail and
better accessories.
And often better accessories. But I'll give them that. If they want to keep all the better accessories because they're world building, sure. But I'm going to nitpick and say, for the character-driven line, we should have elite premium paint applications and articulation. But so why is TVC getting more paint application detail and more articulation on their figures? To me, it makes zero sense. Because if you're telling me we're a character-driven line, then we should have the best version of a 6-inch character that we can get. And not whenever you look at a TVC figure compared to a Black Series figure, the TVC has thigh swivel, the TVC has extra paint hits, and of course the paint hits are smaller because it's a smaller figure, so they don't use as much paint on the hits. But still, we should still have premium. Like, we should still be getting on this 501st Trooper, this Black Series 501st Trooper, we should still be getting this type of paint detail that we got back when it came out in the Order 66 pack and the archive.
I agree.
Like that's for the character-driven line, it makes sense. It doesn't make sense not to do that. So, end rant. Y'all are going to get me going now with these nitpick questions.
Getting Zach spicy.
All right, next question here. Did you answer that one? Was it the
hands?
Was it the hands?
Hands.
Especially for Jedi. Like, come on, for Jedi. All right, this one is from Cedric. Hey, y'all, Piggleman here. Doing my part to keep the email segment alive a little longer. For all of the main Black Series community members, so Out of the Basement, Monday Night Figure Ball, Blitz Transmissions, etc., which members would be Jedi and which would be Sith if they lived in the Star Wars universe? Oh, God. Bonus question, what saber colors does everyone have? All right, so we'll do... I don't want to go through everybody because that would take a while, but let's do like... Let's see, so we'll start with Out of the Basement. Nate's a Jedi and Justin's a Sith. I'll say it. Justin's
That's
a Sith.
true. I can feel that in
Justin's mischievous. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's mischievous. So, yeah, Justin's a Sith for sure. Nate's the Jedi. And then, so Justin would have a red blade and Nate would have... I'm kind of feeling purple on Nate. I feel like Nate would rock a purple blade. All right, figure ball. Coffee's the Sith. Coffee has convinced every Black Series community member to hate Black Series. So, Coffee's the Sith. And he would have a bleeding red lightsaber. Zoo Boy's a Jedi. He's kind-hearted. He's got a great heart. He's a Jedi and has a green lightsaber. Wilbon, that's our guy. That's our guy, Wilbon.
Sith.
Wilbon. See, Wilbon's an Inquisitor. He's like in the middle. He's a tweener.
He used to be. He used to be a Jedi. Now he's Sith light. He's Sith adjacent.
Yeah, Wilbon's a Sith apprentice to Mr. Coffee. And then Tommy from Blitz Transmissions, Gray Jedi. I like Commander Cook said Gray Jedi for Tommy. I'll go with that.
Gray Jedi aren't Gray Jedi.
They don't exist. They don't exist.
Gray Jedi are not a thing. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Tommy's Force neutral. So
Force neutral. He's a Force user, but he's not a member of the Jedi religion.
And he has a nice blue and red lightsaber that goes back and forth between colors. Like it flashes when it pulls it out.
Yeah.
All right, fun question. Happy, and then he says, thought this would be a fun topic for May the 4th. So we appreciate that. It was pretty fun. Let's do, all right. So last email, this one, let me refresh just in case we got any last ones. All right, this is the last email. Happy episode 320th anniversary and HasLab idea. So I'm not going to read this email word for word, but so his HasLab idea for the 20th anniversary would be a Black Series Jedi Council. So by my count, 8 of the 12 council members already have figures: Yoda, Mace, Plo Koon, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Shaak-Ti. That leaves 4 brand new figures: Stas Ali, Sassy Tin, Coleman, Kaj, and Agent Kolar. And then so I would also pitch this as a chance to get new Episode 3 Anakin and Obi-Wan figures. And then 4 brand new figures as the HasLab. Mike, what do you think about the... and then I'll read the last email because he breaks it down. As for price, that's 6 brand new figures for $150, 2 holographic figures for $50, and then all the council chamber pieces and chairs maybe $150, and I guess add $50 because of tariffs. So is this something you all would back for $400? So stretch goals are like the holographic versions of some characters for the swappable. The holographic version for swappables is pretty good for the tiers. I mean, pretty good.
I think there's a lot going into that, but the idea of it, where they just have a selection of figures, if they did it at HasLab, yes, I would back it. Depending on how many figures and the figure selection on whether or not I would want them. Like if they're brand new figures, obviously like budget isn't an issue, so it's got like all the paint apps and stuff, and they really are just ideal versions of them. I would most likely do it, but I would rather them do not a HasLab, but the thing they did with like the E-Wing or the Dragon Man, where
made to order.
It's a made to order kind of situation. But if they did it HasLab, I mean, you could come up with so many different character selection combinations of like pod racers, Jedi Council members, Cantina aliens, Jabba's palace denizens. Like, yeah, I would pretty much back them all, like, for sure.
I could just
price isn't ridiculous, but I think $400 for like 8 or 9 or 10 figures is pretty good.
I could just hear it now. People being so mad that there's a HasLab that includes like 8 repacks of figures. So I feel like
they would have to be all new figures. Yeah,
that's like on the figures they would have to at least update to the the pinless knees and elbows. At least throw in some alt hands, some force hands, whatever.
For sure.
But
like I don't mind obviously if the holographic versions are reused.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of course they would be, but yeah, the figures would have to be all brand new. And like I said, pull out all the stops, accessories, paint apps, all that
swoosh
stuff.
Blades.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd back it. I don't know how likely that is. It's probably pretty unlikely, but I'd definitely be a backer of that for sure. All right, so we have a lot to catch up on because a lot has happened, and we're not even talking about the reveals for May the 4th. So let's dive into some news real quick. Mike, apparently everybody who was saying Hasbro was losing the license, were they wrong?
They were wrong. Wow.
They were wrong?
Big Switch? The Big Switch isn't a thing? What?
News to me. I thought everybody was. Yeah.
I was told for sure the Big Switch was happening. For sure the Big Switch was a thing. It was just a matter of time. It was happening, and soon.
Yeah, and I don't see everybody just takes these rumors and runs with them, and they're like, "Oh, Hasbro's losing the license." Like, why would? Obviously, Hasbro and Lucasfilm Disney have a strong relationship, and they've had a great business relationship for years. Like, I don't think they'd give that up anytime soon. And some people, it kills me, they want Hasbro to lose the license, and it's like, do you realize? Like, we wouldn't get any Kenner figure, or Kenner-inspired figures. We wouldn't get any of these Episode 3 card backs, because guess what? Hasbro owns all this. They own all the rights to this merch. So, yeah, like, if that's what people want to root for, then go ahead, but I just don't understand. Like, how long would it take? I know we've talked about this on our podcast, Out of the Basement, Figure Ball, all that stuff. We've all covered this, nonstop all the time, but how long would it take for us to get characters in the Black Series that took us forever in those other lines? Like, we're just going to get Vader, Luke, Boba Fett, new Anakin?
This just happened in another line. Hasbro decided to stop making Power Rangers. Even though they own it outright, they stopped making it. They sold the license to use it to Playmates. Playmates just announced their first wave of Power Rangers figures. Guess what they're doing? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from 1993.
Things everybody already has.
The figures people have had these figures for like 100 times. Bandai, Lightning Collection. That's like always the go-to. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There's so many Power Rangers series that never got like high quality 6-inch figures, and they always start with with the classic Power Rangers, and that's the same thing that would happen with Star Wars figures. If Mattel or someone else got that line, guess what? We get our 100th Luke Skywalker. We get our 1000th Darth Vader. Like, we're never gonna get to the fun, cool, crazy characters because they got to hit those big ones, and it's just so boring. It's just so boring to get the necessities out of the way before they can have fun with it, because that's what we're gonna get stuck with those.
Yeah, so I don't really understand it, but people are gonna, it gets clicks, it gets headlines, it gets views on YouTube, so people are always, every time the contract is, there was somebody on Twitter, and I think we talked about this on the podcast. I don't really want to name drop names. This person has been a guest on the show. On Twitter, they were talking about a couple years ago rumors of Hasbro losing the license and Disney getting rid of Hasbro, blah, blah, blah. And I remember coming on this podcast and saying, I'm pretty sure I remember at the beginning of 2022, there was an announcement that Hasbro and Disney re-upped their license agreement. So it's not happening anytime soon. And then now they re-upped it again. So I'm sure in 2028, the same old people are going to be on Twitter, X, YouTube. They're going to be saying, "Oh, it looks like Disney is upset with Hasbro, and they're going to be on the way out." So it's just a constant cycle, and it's not going to stop.
It is more likely that Disney will just outright purchase Hasbro to have like a toy company than it is for Hasbro and Disney to part ways.
That's crazy. But you're probably not wrong. I mean, they have such a strong business relationship, so
100%. Yeah.
They've just, so. Yeah, I don't understand. But people's obsession with constantly talking about, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired and leaving. It's like, oh, you'll eventually be right, because eventually she's going to retire. But
she's going to step down. She's like 70 years old. She's going to retire at some point. But you can't claim you were right when you've been saying this for going on 10 years now.
Yeah, it's oddly like the same group.
It's the same
like of people.
It's the same group. Yep, and it's the people that follow them, for sure.
Yep. So other news we have, getting out of the Hasbro contract stuff. The Jeddah Patrol Stormtrooper was reissued. I didn't count this as an official reveal because we don't need to talk about it a lot. But on Target, they have it for $35.99.
Has to be a mistake.
Gotta be a mistake, right? But I mean, I get it. It kind of makes sense just to reissue, get back out on shelves, especially if people are with the Andor hype and all that. If it's going to be in it, just another trooper for people to buy. But they're not going to sell any with that $35.99 price tag. I mean, these things were showing up at Ollie's for $9.99. So, yeah, good luck, Target. Have fun with that one. Do you have anything else to add onto that before we move on?
The price flabbergasted me. I'm like, this has to be a mistake. They'll correct it. And like, I don't think they have yet. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's still $35.99 the last I've checked. So maybe by the time our audio podcast comes out, it'll be corrected.
It's like a week and a half or like 2 weeks.
But also, even at like $24.99, like it's already hit $9.99
price. That's the standard price. You can't count Ollie's. Like $24.99. That's the standard price.
That's true.
Like,
but at the same time, a million of them did go to Ollie's, so it's like you can probably just go to Ollie's right now and find it.
There's a lot of reasons, like because it came out in 2021. Distribution.
A lot of logistics.
There's a lot of logistics issues. Like
they
might have never even seen the stores because what'll happen is like they'll hit Ollie's because they'll sit in like a Target warehouse or whatever forever.
Mm-hmm.
Target will find it and go like, let's just like liquidate the stuff because like it's should have been out ages ago and they didn't put it out.
Yeah. So I have a feeling it'll be like $13 at Target pretty quick. So I wouldn't rush to be paying $36 for it. Hopefully everybody with a bumpy brain will know not to pay $36 for it. All right. So we're going to move on to a little bit of a new segment. We're going to call it Outer Rim something. We'll think of it eventually, but I thought it'd be cool. Unexplored regions.
That's the EU version for like outside the galaxy.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be cool here on the Black Series Cantina to talk about some other things a little bit. And also not only Star Wars, like if this is going to be the section where if there's like a figure that Mike is really excited about, that's maybe Mythic Legions, maybe like a Dragon Ball figure that I'm really looking forward to. This is kind of our 5 minutes to where we can talk about that. But right now, the only one we have on the docket is the Hot Toys Palpatine Darth Sidious, and this figure broke me. I'm not gonna lie. The minute I saw this figure, Hot Toys has me by the balls now, Mike, and I can't escape. I'm falling down this sinkhole.
Oh no!
I'm reaching for help.
Oh no!
I'm reaching for help, and nobody, people aren't pulling me out. They're pushing me further in, and this Darth Sidious is single-handedly to blame for that, and the Grievous, because I'm in on the Grievous too. But this one really has me. But it's specifically like this picture right here, not that one. This one, the picture where he's like putting the hood up, like when he transitions.
Ooh,
like that scene, because that's kind of the moment where even like he lightnings Palpatine, he lightnings Mace Windu, pushes him out of the window.
Fake fan, lightning Palpatine. You don't know anything about Star Wars.
So he goes from this, and then when he puts that robe on, like that's the moment when he kind of transitions from like Chancellor Palpatine to the Emperor, like that we truly know from the original trilogy. And like this picture like got me, and I cannot wait for this. I pre-ordered it, and my payments, I think they don't start until like February or January of 2026.
That's what I love about Sideshow's payment system on there. It's so easy, and it's too easy to buy expensive stuff because they break it up over like 3 to 5 months. And you're like, I can pay $50 a month for a while. That's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's no issue at all.
Go to that first picture, the one where he's holding the lightsaber down. Not that one, the one next to it.
Oh, this one?
No. The one next to the one. Yeah, that one. That where he's like got the lightsaber going down with the swoosh effect
Yeah.
on it. So good. Like that's the figure I want in the Black Series. Like I want
Yes.
that Palpatine in those robes with that lightsaber. Like that's what I want in
Yeah.
the Black Series.
Yeah, especially with an alt head, because that's what this hot
Yeah.
toy includes. You can switch it
Yeah.
between, and I'm definitely displaying it. Like I'm gonna try to get this pose right here with he's like grabbing the hood and like pulling it over. And they have some really cool pictures down here of him like talking to Anakin and stuff. So that I definitely need the hood on, but it is cool. Like, it gives you the option. You can take the robe off and have this version, or you can put on the undeformed head and you have
Ooh,
just
the
a
one to
chancellor.
the left of that one. Oh, the one to the left of that one.
That one.
That's such a good picture. Oh,
I know.
man.
It's so good. And it's getting me in the feels too, because like we're in this big episode 3 anniversary, mood right now, and the vibes are in the air. And this just dropped at the perfect time. And
Oh, they know what they're doing.
They got me. I am the
Like a
target
half, a year and a
audience.
half.
I know, that's what kills me. It's like I want this so bad, but I'm not going to have it for over a whole year. So, but I did want to mention that real quick. Hot Toys does
It
kind of
looks
have
good,
me right
for
now.
Sure.
But all right. So that is all for our Outer Rim segment. What do you call it? Unexplored regions.
Unexplored regions.
But now we can talk about why we're really here. Now I think we've covered everything
Let's do it.
leading up to that.
Let's bring it up.
Alrighty. First, we are going to talk about. So we're going to jump into some reveals now, and we have a couple to catch up on before we jump into the May 4th reveals. And we're going to start off with Director Krennic, not the version of just a straight repaint, repack with a new head, new paint.
We talked about this the last episode because they had it on display, but I guess they hadn't officially announced it. They
couldn't talk about it.
They couldn't talk about it. Yeah.
Now they officially revealed it. It looks really good. I do really like it, but I'm not in. I'm not in on this one.
Cape looks so bad.
I really like the chest piece. I really like the collar and all, or not.
Piece looks good.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about it, but the episode that he wears this in Andor, very tense. Like when they're walking from piece to piece talking about it, and she's trying to pull the microphone out from the art installation. Like it was so tense. It was so tense. Like this looks pretty good. Although I don't know if you noticed this, but he's mirrored. He's swapped.
In the show, is the sash going the other way?
It's the other way. I think it's going the other way.
Are you sure? Because that would cover his rank.
No, I think that everything's at least in a picture you posted. So the picture you posted might be swapped, but one of them was swapped.
Oh, do you mean like the picture? Which one here?
You posted it in our chat.
Oh. I couldn't tell you then. I can try to look it up real quick.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. So I found the picture, but it's from a thumbnail of a YouTube page. So it probably it's probably swapped.
That makes sense. Yeah, because this looks right to me. I'm a swapper. Pletho's saying it's the right way around. Because I feel like if it were the other, so the thumbnail had it swapped and not these images.
So like, I mean, every picture I see, it's going up the other side. But
are you talking about in the show?
You know what? I'm looking at pictures, but all of their nameplate, all of their ranked plates are on the wrong side. So I think all these pictures, I think every one of these pictures on Google right now is mirrored. Because there's no way
what the heck
would have.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. If you type in Andor or Director Krennic Season 2 Andor, the ones that pop up, it's going over his
on here. It's mirrored, but it's
going over his left shoulder.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I need to pull this up on Disney Plus now because I can share this
No, I'm telling you because I'm looking at the background too. They don't all because their emblems are on the wrong side. Look at that.
So it's definitely mirrored. Yeah.
It's definitely mirrored. Like that's not what it's supposed to look like.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, Director Krennic. I'm not getting this one because now that I display my figures by faction, I don't need 2 Director Krennics, even though I do like the sash look, like the more formal look of him. I don't need 2 Director Krennics, no matter how nice that chest piece may be. So how do you feel about this one?
Oh, I ordered it off Target. It's Target exclusive.
Yep.
I put it on there. I figure like, why not? I do kind of, I like the look of this one better, so I might swap it out just because it has newer construction. And even though he does look like a crossing guard, I do think the sash kind of
Crossing guard.
it does look. It looks more fun. Like it looks more visually appealing. Like on my shelf, it would stand out more than
that is true.
The Rogue One version.
That is true.
What I might try to do is take off the cape and put the Rogue One cape on.
Yeah, that's what Luke was saying. I think Frederick was going to try to do for him, like pop those gray pieces off and then just re-glue them onto the actual cape. Because the collar on some of these pictures, which there, I know there's one that one. Yeah, there's some pictures here where the collar like just looks god awful.
It looks so bad.
And yeah, I mean at this price point, it's hard for them to get it right. But like, come on, like you can't have it ride that high up. I don't think. But who knows? All right, so let's move on to another 2-pack that was not officially revealed last time we talked about it.
But it was, because we talked about it. Like we knew it existed.
Yeah, but they weren't allowed to talk about it yet.
No.
So we got the Shore Trooper and Death Trooper. And what's funny about this is whenever they revealed this today, they forgot to edit out the bottom. I don't know if you saw it on the live stream. It said Ahsoka number 17 under it.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I guess they were kind of in a rush. But it clearly is from Rogue One because even on the packaging it says Rogue One. Because I saw the Ahsoka 17 and I was like, hold on. Did they pop up in the Ahsoka show and I don't remember like a normal Death Trooper and a normal Shore Trooper? And I was like, is this going to be an Ahsoka pack? Because that's weird as hell if it is. But then it is a Rogue One pack. But cool army builder. I think for people who really love to army build their stormtroopers, this is another good opportunity to get 2 figures. So, doesn't hurt me any to see this release out there.
Assuming it's still $40 because that's what these have been, which is a good price for 2 figures, especially 2 army building figures.
Yeah, did they say a price on this one yet?
I don't think they did. But what they did say was pretty much everything they showed off was going up for pre-order on Sunday,
May 4th.
The 4th?
Yep.
Which is a weird day for anything to go up on pre-order, but sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are like busy and stuff, but I don't think anything they reveal to sell outright, especially this. So if you want to get this, I don't think there will be any issues. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the actual May 4th reveals. Give us something exciting.
I will say, hold on, I will say one thing.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Thing. I've seen this pop up today. They photoshopped all the pins out. All the pins out.
Even on another one that we'll talk about later. But yeah, look, no pin there.
No pins on any of these. So I saw some like, are these new sculpts? Like, are they doing pinless sculpts on Black Series? Like, nope. They just photoshopped them out. Listen, if anyone from Hasbro is watching, this is blatant false advertising. Knock this off. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop photoshopping out the pins. If they've got pins, leave it in. We got to know.
Yeah. Yeah. We're looking at you, Brandon. Get to the bottom of this. You have to solve this issue. Yeah.
Get your handsome face to the bottom of this.
Because we know Brandon is a man of the people. He's one of us. So he's got to solve this issue for us. But all right, so let's move on to May the 4th reveals that happened on May the 2nd. So you can pre-order them on May the 4th. Starting off with a brand new Sand Trooper. So a figure that has been needing an update for over a decade, but is not Anakin. We have a Sand Trooper reveal. Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's cool that they modeled it directly after the Move Along Stormtrooper. Like,
yep.
That's a cool touch. I like that we have a unique weapon to go with it. I dislike that we're not getting any of like the normal stormtrooper weapons with it. Like other than the E11, like that big cannon thing they've got and the long rifle that they usually come with. I could do without the long rifle. Like if they wanted to swap that out for the one,
we do have a lot of those. Yeah.
Like I'm fine with that. Like, but I feel like he should come with that big like cannon thing. Like I feel like it's iconic to go with the Sand Trooper.
I guess maybe they said it's modeled after that one because so it wouldn't have to include it. Maybe. Is that why?
But that being said, this looks great.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty decent job. Like the paint is better than what I thought it was going to be. You know, whenever we initially heard that there was going to be a Sand Trooper released in the Black Series. So I feel like they did a good job. I would say I do wish that since they modeled it after the Move Along Sand Trooper that we got an alt hand for the Move Along.
Something for Move Along, yeah.
Because we have a land speeder and we have a Luke and we have an Obi-Wan.
Molded it to be in more of that shape.
Yeah, exactly. So we could have gotten an extra hand, but I do feel like at least in these promo images, the paint is halfway decent. It's obviously not as good as we got in 2013, which is weird because that was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But I feel like it looks decent. So we'll have to look at it in person to see if they really did a good job and if it's not like a crazy dot matrix paint, which I'm sure it is. And if you zoom in, you can see the individual ones. But from here, it looks
close enough.
Decent.
You can always see it. Yeah, you can always see the little dots. Before we move on, I do want to point out for a good chunk of the Black Series part of the stream, they talked about the Han and Chewie. And I just want to reiterate how excited I am for those two figures.
Yes.
Especially that Chewie. That Chewie might be figure of the year for me whenever it comes out. Like, the stuff you can do with it, that they have it, like the way that he's holding that bowcaster, like you could never do that with any Chewbacca, any Wookiee. Like
it was impressive. The poses they had.
Impressive. For that feat alone, it deserves to be in top 10, if not like top 3, just for that alone. But I just want
to hold your horses. You don't want to prejudge it there.
I know.
So you're gonna hype yourself up and disappoint yourself.
I'm getting hyped up, and then I might disappoint myself. But it looks so good, and all the pictures they showed of Han and Chewie together, and they had them like on the little stand in front of them. It got me so hyped for those because they spent a good chunk of time talking about it before they moved on to other stuff. So I just wanted to point out that I am very hyped. Yeah.
But I do like for $24.99, this does look like pretty good value for what you get. For the assuming it, I don't know if they said $24.99, but I don't think it's any over. I don't think it's a deluxe or anything. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, normal release. So I also like how the paint apps on it. It doesn't look like they overdid it because that's kind of one thing I was worried about, that they would put too much on it and it would look bad. But it's kind of just softly, kind of all over the figure in spots. So pretty decent job. We'll see how it looks in person to really judge it, because that's one thing that concerns me about some of the paint here.
Sure.
Is how it'll look in person. But it looks pretty solid here, especially for $24.99. I feel like the value you get is pretty nice. All right, so another trooper. We're going to talk about Clone Lieutenant Gale, and I
was the Glup-shittoest clone. I'm like, who?
So they show him walking behind Ayla on Felucia for a little bit, but like, obviously, why is his name Gale? Who picked the name Gale for this guy?
Well, it's not even Gale, but like it's spelled like Gaul.
Gaul, yeah, maybe it is Gaul, but they were
Galle. They said Gale,
but they were saying Gale, so that's just what I'm going with.
Listen, none of that matters. I don't care. I don't care if this guy has a name or no name. I don't care if he's a Glub-shitto or not. This is a good-looking clone. They even said that they redid the helmet, so I'm hoping that takes care of the chinning issue that these have had.
Yeah, somebody had a picture of them. I saw it on a Discord. Like, you can see the chin right there, or is that the neck? I don't know. You can't tell, but there was an in-person shot where you can still see the chin. I can't zoom in on this.
Never mind. Yeah. They said they redid it. And that was my first
I might be able
hope.
to. Hang on.
That was my first hope.
Oh, I can't zoom in on these
All right,
pictures.
that's fine.
Yeah, but somebody saw an in-person picture. They posted
Yeah.
it, and you could see the
It's
chin
the
poking
chin.
out, which is like,
All right,
come
that's
on.
fine.
Yeah.
People will complain about it. I'll complain about it when I see it, but like it's also like once I see it, I'll get over it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not fine, but I don't care. I don't care enough. I don't care enough to constantly complain about it every time I see it. But
I do like, it is really awesome to get another Revenge of the Sith clone that's a movie clone out there, and he looks incredible for what he is. I wish, of course, we could get some dirt paint applications on him.
it is
but,
he's too clean for sure. He's too clean, but he's gonna look good next to Bly.
Yep.
Here's my complaint. Sometimes clone troopers have cloth commas. Sometimes they have molded rubber.
Why are they so inconsistent? I don't
I want
understand.
them to pick one or the other. Hasbro, you gotta pick one or the other. I hate that they have mixed materials on my shelf all the time. Like it's like every other figure, especially ARC troopers like this guy where he's got like the. I mean, I don't know if he's an ARC trooper, but he's got the pauldron and he's got all the other stuff. Like
Yeah, he's got. It looks like it.
these
Yeah.
guys have the molded rubber comma, but this one doesn't, and it just like pick one or the other.
You know what also kind of frustrates me? Not about this, but this makes me frustrated about another figure. Why did they decide to wait until now to do a movie accurate helmet and not do it when they did it for the Revenge of the Sith 501st clone?
It's a good question.
That actually,
I
because
honestly can't tell the difference. I honestly can't. It looked the same to me. I don't know if I don't care enough about Revenge of the Sith to be like, oh, this one's silent. But I'm the same way with Stormtrooper helmets. People are like,
I think that might.
Stormtrooper helmets from Empire Strikes Back. I'm like, I can't tell. They look like Stormtrooper helmets. Like, how can you tell? All Stormtroopers look the same. I'm just saying that.
Do they? Do they though?
Yeah, they do.
There's very subtle differences. There's subtle differences, but yeah. So this one, you can see there's a little bit of a white gap in between the black line and the brow, and then it's also a little thinner from left to right, so it's smaller. These are like the helmet is wider, and it just looks more like the live action from Andor to have a head fit in there, of course, but. I just really, and the visor is more screen accurate too to the movie rather than.
I guess.
But I just don't understand why not do it on the 501st clone that they just came out with, because I actually decided I don't need a lot of these new ones. I've got one for the wall, I've got one for my shelf, and then I bought.
I think you need 17 of them.
There's no way. All 12 that I had morphed and they became a hot toy. So I have 0 now.
They're like Voltron together.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wish they would have done it on the episode 3 501st clone instead of wait till now. So a little frustrating because I do still think the Archive 501st is the superior 501st clone. The blue is perfect. The paint detail is perfect. The articulation is awful, but at a certain point, I want the visual to be perfect. And if you can get them to stand, then they're golden. So, especially if you have a big display like me, where you got 12 of them marching up. But I am excited to add this normal one to the shelf. But that's just one thing. I was like, when I saw this, that they updated the helmet, I was like, yeah, that's great, but why couldn't you do it one figure ago when you were doing a movie figure on a movie specific card? But I am getting this guy. I'm pretty excited for him.
He looks good. For all my joking and complaining and whatnot, like he looks good. 100% getting this guy.
And now we are talking about more episode 3 card back packaging. We are getting a Magna Guard, which was leaked on eBay, of course, but they officially revealed it. And the way that blue shines off the light,
so good.
It's talking nasty to me, and I really like it.
It looks so like the paint on this doesn't even.
It's like a metallic.
I don't even.
Well, that's because you can't see blue, so.
He just looks he looks invisible. I just don't see him. No, like the paint on this is incredible. I don't know how they could do this and have this look this good, and then and have it on the same shelf as like the white ones from the Clone Wars. Like it's just gonna look so different. Like it's unreal. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think visually this looks stunning.
I'm gonna get two of these just to have. And they never made these, so this isn't. It's so weird. Like this wasn't. They didn't make one of these in the original line that I know of.
Yeah, neither did Commander Cody, but save it. We'll get into character selection after we do Ayla. Yeah. Because I got some bones to pick. I got some will bones to pick with it. But yeah, I think this looks great. You can see it does suck. It looks like the leg to our right is warping a little, even the version that this guy got to pose it. And so I was hoping, like, oh, I wonder if they can fix the warping issue. But then the one that they're doing in the promo pictures has a damn warped leg. It's like, well, that hope is out the window. So we'll have to heat it up. I still haven't even heated up my old one. It's still sitting there doing the stinky leg. So I need to get on that. But I'll do it one day. But I am pretty excited for this. I'm definitely in for two of these, one on the wall and one to go along with the Grievous and the other Magna Guard that we have. But the blue on this looks so good. He's got the cape that's burnt and torn.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm pretty excited for this guy. Even though, like, articulation, he can move, but he just has trouble standing. And so not excited about that, but, you know, this was like the most underwhelming figure for me the year it came out, so it's weird. I'm excited to buy it again, but I just need it because it's Revenge of the Sith, and I need that color. The paint is incredible. Yeah. But so I hope the guy who bought that one for like $300 and X amount of dollars feels like a total idiot now. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably haven't even like gotten that delivered yet. It's probably still sitting in the mail, and they just revealed it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. But subscribe to the Patreon if you got that much money to blow. So, and we got one more reveal to get into. Another Revenge of the Sith card. And I hate to say it, Mike, but this is the last Episode 3 card-backed figure we're going to be talking about on the Black Series Cantina podcast, because apparently these are the last two they are doing, which I'll rant about here in a little bit, but let's talk about the specific figure first. Ayla Secura revealed for the Black Series.
I mean, it's the same Ayla Secura we already got, but now with swooshy lightsaber. Yeah,
now with a swoosh effect, and that's cool.
Interesting, they added that in there.
Not enticing enough for me to buy two of them, but I'm definitely getting one for the wall.
Man, the poses they got these in are good. Like, I didn't even know she could move that way, honestly.
Also, she's pinless. Look at that. Look at that, Mike. She's pinless.
Oh, it's amazing. She's pinless.
They must have updated the figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They must have updated the figure and made it pinless.
It was weird when they had her in person. I don't know if it was the camera they had or whatever, but the clothes looked a lot darker than the one we had. But looking at the promo pictures, they don't.
The same.
It was like when I saw it, I was like, they look black almost instead of like the dark brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so really not a lot to talk about with these two. They're both repacks, and of course we do get the extra blade, on Ayla. So that's the last one, and that has been confirmed by Hasbro themselves. They said it on stream that these are the last two in the packaging, and I have to say, people know how much this means to me specifically because I've been talking about it forever on our podcast, on Out of the Basement, on, I've mentioned on Figure Ball, I'm sure. But I do want to play a clip. I went through our episodes, not by listening them all, because that would take a lot of time, but they have the AI transcript or the whatever it is where you can type in stuff and search. This is episode 11, from January 2022, and I'm pretty sure this is the day we launched our Patreon. So we want to play a clip because this shows how far back I and myself and Mike have been talking about these episode 3 card backs. Figures.
Yeah, the only episode 1 celebration they did was those 2 figures, and they were convention exclusive.
Yeah.
And that's it.
For Revenge of the Sith, they better go all out with the box art with the Darth Vader helmet and the flames and like the bubble.
Yeah, and the little kind of curved bubble.
That's what I grew up on. Like that's what I remember seeing on the shelves the most.
Give me a pregnant Padme in it and we'll be good.
Pregnant Padme, give me I can go on and on. Give me Anakin, Darth Vader on the table. Tarful, give me Obi-Wan Kenobi when he gets some battle damage, some flames, some burns on his chest. That'd be
Give us cool. a Mustafar 2-pack of Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I need all the Revenge of the Sith figures in that Revenge of the Sith art. I can't wait. And they're only going to do like 1 or 2 of them. Right there. That's it. Yep. And they're only going to do like 2 of them. I know it because it'd probably be a busy year for Star Wars, but we'll see. The future is bright. So that was us. We look like babies then, I feel like.
We did. We looked so tiny.
We did look like babies there. But so that just shows we've literally been talking about this for years and years and years. And it's finally here and we finally have them in hand and we have more to pre-order. But I do think it's really disappointing that we're only getting 7 of them. And I know we only got 2 for Phantom Menace, and then we got like the exclusive ones and stuff. So we ended up getting we got more. I don't know what the total count was for Phantom Menace after like the Jar Jar and the Mace and all that. But for Celebration, they did 2 of them, which is what we started talking about. But for like Empire and Return of the Jedi, didn't we get like 3 full waves of them?
Yeah, for all the 40th anniversary ones, we got 3 full waves. Yeah.
Yeah, for the 40th anniversary cards. So whenever they said these were the last 2 that are on this card back, it was kind of like a gut punch to me in a way. And I know I should probably be, and this is what I'm talking about when I said earlier, like that line when Yoda says, looking to the future, like you need to worry about what you have in the present, appreciate what you have. But only getting 7 of them, and there's so many great characters that they could put on the card. Like that Darth Sidious we have would be so amazing on the card. Like you can take out, like, why do we need Ayla Secura on that card instead of like Darth Sidious? I feel like character selection kind of weird. It kind of feels like weird. I kind of feel like they just put names in a hat and when drew them. But not having, for now, we don't know if there's going to be an SCCC exclusive with Anakin and Obi-Wan on these cards. I wouldn't expect that to be the case because they literally said these are the last 2 on this card. I feel like if we get Anakin and Obi-Wan, it'll be a mainline.
I think what he might have said was on these releases, because that could just mean that these are the last 2 like Walmart exclusives. So they could still come out. Maybe they're hollow foil cards instead of regular cards. So they are slightly different cards, even though they're the same. They could still be SDCC exclusive. I'm going to be honest. If I had to put money on it yesterday or this morning, I would have put money on it that we were getting an Anakin and Obi-Wan today on these cards. I would have put money down. I was so sure that we were going to get these. And then when we didn't, I was honestly very shocked, obviously.
I was on a ledge, Mike. I was on a ledge. I had to get talked off the ledge.
You had to get talked off the ledge.
But, like, I just feel like 7 figures. I feel like I looked forward to this so much, so I guess it might be partially my fault. But the episode 3 anniversary has been so popular. And we'll talk about Walmart and how they're shipping these in a minute, but they should have gone a little harder. I feel like we should have gotten 3, at least 2 full waves. Okay. And the fact that go ahead.
We have 7 slots. I mean, you know who they gave us. Who would you take out and who would you replace them with?
Take out Ayla.
Okay.
So if I can't do Anakin and Obi-Wan like new, I just have figures we have currently, right?
I didn't say.
I'd take out Ayla and do Sidious. And then I would take out
I would take
Commander
out the card because we never got one in that card anyway. To me, that feels like a waste. Like,
Yep. I agree.
Give us that. Just give us that on an episode 3 mural box.
Yep.
I'd buy 2. Save the card backs for figures that actually came on those card backs.
I think Commander Cody would have been better. Would have been a good one because he never had a 3.75 inch. So maybe that's why they did it. But at the same time, I feel like it would have been some of the other ones could have been a little better.
It's hard. It's weird to try to do a nostalgia release when the figures themselves aren't part of that nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And honestly,
like I said, specifically, I remember that pregnant Padme on that card. I remember getting, that Emperor, that Palpatine on that card. Like I
and honest,
Super Battle Droid, regular Battle Droid, regular Clone Trooper.
I think Kit Fisto would also get the axe because I feel like if they were doing this, they should have stuck with like a theme.
Yeah.
You should have had, if you could do a 501st Trooper, Anakin, Darth Sidious, Obi-Wan, Commander Cody
We don't need an R2.
for Sidious.
Why'd they do R2? It's so weird.
Yeah, I feel like character selection was kind of weird. Like, since I have a Kit Fisto in it and Ayla, like,
yeah.
If I have Kit Fisto, I feel like I need Mace, Plo Koon, more Jedi on it. So it just seemed like somebody who wasn't really involved in Star Wars just kind of picked them. Like, oh, let's do these figures and blah blah blah. I wish they would have stuck to more of a theme with them. Or let's get 5 separatist, evil ones. Put Grievous, Dooku, Sidious, the Super Battle Droid, and pick a villain. Magna Guard. Do the Magna Guard for the Grievous.
Sure.
Those are your 5 villains, and then you get Anakin, Obi-Wan, 501st Clone, Commander Cody, and R2D2. That would look beautiful on the wall. 5 on 5. But we get 7 kind of mix and matched. Heroes, villains, and the villain, the heroes are just background Jedi.
I get why they did Kit, because they wanted to re-release him, obviously, because they just reissued, Plo Koon and stuff. So they wanted to do Kit to kind of get another version of Kit out there. I get that. But it also is a weird slot to waste on him.
Yeah. So as much as I love these, and I do love these, I look at these, they've been sitting over here on this little display I have just all next to each other. And it warms my heart, literally. I love the 501st Clone on it. I love Count Dooku on it. I do love the R2 on it. I feel like there were better options because we've also had so many R2s released. But I do love the way R2 looks on it. He's not the first figure I would pick for the card, but he does look amazing. And I love having him. Oh, I just dropped my Minty.
Speaking of Minty.
Yeah, I just dropped my Kit Fisto, so hopefully it's still good. But yeah, it's good. So luckily, I guess
Minty.
being a shill of Hasbro, I was fortunate enough to get huge boxes with padding. I feel like from all the ones I've seen, even when people got boxes, they didn't get padding, which is weird. But I got the paper, the cardboard paper padding. So I got really lucky. All of mine arrived really good, except for one of the 3 501st I had, which is the one I opened. And Count Dooku arrived a little bent, but I've kind of flattened it out, and I set some heavy things on it to flatten it out for the most part. And I don't need it to be a grade 10 out of 10. This is still good for me, even when it was a little forward. It's just going to be hanging on the wall. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but most of them are pretty pristine. So I'm very happy with how mine were handled. But it is really unfortunate that Walmart is not taking care of these at all.
Yeah. Justin and Nate out of the basement did a good video on that today. My experience, I ordered at least one of everything, and all but two came in paper bags.
Sheesh.
All but two. So I think this one, some of them are okay. Like all of them, and you can't really see it, but all of them came with scuffs on the bubble. Like all of them, no matter what they came in. But like this one, you can see like
Mine were pretty good. I had one 501st Trooper that had a little bit, but for the most of them, they're really good.
The Kit Fisto I've got here is not perfect, but close enough for me because like I usually don't care about these. And I get into someone on, I think it was Threads, where he's like, I hate people like you that care about little dings and dents on this packaging that's made to be thrown out. I'm like, normally I agree with you. Normally I'm right there with you. But on this specifically, like Hasbro made these to be nostalgic. Like the packaging is as much part of the figure as the figure itself. Because if I open up this Kit Fisto, it's the exact same as the Kit Fisto I already
The one that you have, yeah.
Yeah. The difference is the package it came in that evokes that nostalgia. So if I order one, I would want it to be in at least decent shape. And I think most of my figures came in terrible shape. Both my R2s, they came. Both my R2s came in a box, but the box was slightly too small. So both of them had this little thing on the top and it's creased. Not the biggest deal, but also I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's just really scuffed. It's really scuffed. But I don't super care, and I'm gonna be opening one anyway. I sent the other one because they all came so poorly. I just decided if I'm not opening it, I don't really want it. I have an extra Cody that from the first releases I got two bad Codys. I had Walmart exchange one, and they've sent me a new one in a box, and that one came great. So that's the one that I'm putting on my shelf. The other one I'm just gonna open, and I don't care anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm probably gonna return the Kit Fisto just because like we just said, I don't need another Kit Fisto.
Yeah,
but the Count Dooku came in a bag, and that one the bubble was crushed, like absolutely crushed.
Got an elbow drop, while it being delivered.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like someone came from the top rope and just absolutely just demolished it. So that one and one of my R2s I sent to Brian Dickey. In fact, I just got a notification saying they got delivered at his place just today. But yeah, I just like I said, normally I don't care, but these specifically I do. And then the ones that came pretty pristine, like no scuffing, like no issues with the card back in perfect condition, are the ones I'm gonna open because they're the 501st. So I don't care if they could have come absolutely ripped to shreds. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna open these, and it's so disappointing, and it's really my fault for caring so much. But I think specifically, I was going to buy these unopened and display them unopened, and because Walmart was so bad at shipping them, and I just never expect to see them in stores, I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play that game. I'm going to have my Cody, because I do have one extra Cody now. He looks good on the wall, and that's the one that will represent this packaging. That's it.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, shame on Hasbro, because if we're nice enough to, well, maybe it's more of a Walmart thing, but shame on both of them.
A little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Shame on them, because if we're going to pay our hard-earned money to buy figures that we already have just to keep them, like, I'm not buying this. Wait, that's the wrong one. It's partially true, but for R2, but I did want the flame effects. I don't care about Kit Fisto. If I bought this for the packaging and the fact that it's a character that is different than the other versions, that they're just releasing it. Like, I don't care specifically about Kit Fisto. So I literally bought this for the plastic and the cardboard that it sits on.
Yeah.
So if I'm paying my hard-earned money for a figure I already have, and something I'm just going to put on the wall. Like, they need to make sure that these are delivered in big enough boxes. And I know they've mentioned 1,000 times on their streams, we're working with our retailers to make sure that they take care, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't do it with these Revenge of the Sith ones. It seems like the overwhelming majority of people are getting things in bags.
You know, I've seen people get them in the original Hasbro shipping boxes, though. Like, that's crazy.
That is wild. Yeah, that would be, if they just got it. That's what Amazon does a lot of times. They'll get it in, slap a sticker, and send it on its way. And it works out pretty well for the most part. But Target would have been such a better partner, because they usually boxes. Yeah, Amazon does do the bags every now and then, but I feel like it's less often than Walmart.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of any time I've had a bad shipping experience from.
But also with Amazon, at least their bags I send them in are bubble mailered. Like, I've gotten figures before in a bubble mailer, but it's normally not a carded figure that I care about. It's just the cardboard around my box I'm throwing away anyways. You know, the cardboard around my figure I'm throwing away anyways. So. But yeah, I think both parties are probably a little at fault. You know, I think Hasbro should have done a better job making sure Walmart knows to take care of these. But also, it's hard to blame the Walmart employees because...
Oh, I don't. No.
Yeah,
they do not get paid enough.
No.
They don't get paid enough to care about that, and I don't blame them. It's 100% on Walmart and Hasbro in general. This stuff should have been communicated to them. Like, if it's not, I don't, like, sure, send it in a bag. Normally, like I said, I don't care. This is like the one instance in 1,000 that I do care about, and that's it. Like,
yeah. And also, one last thing about the episode 3 cards before we move on. I would have really loved, like, I know people say we have 1 million Darth Vaders, but I buy every card to Darth Vader they do. Like, if they could just do a new head to make it the episode 3, you know, symmetrical head or symmetrical helmet. Just do the new head, put it here. I would love it because they had it back in the day.
Removable helmet with Hayden Christensen underneath with the headband on.
Yeah, there we go.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'd buy 10 of those things. I'd be all in. We don't have 1 million Great Vaders, so...
That's true. We don't have 1 million Great Vaders.
We always have room for another Vader, especially if they can put a head sculpt underneath it that we don't have. Like, you know, being on a serious note, the one, you know, where he's on the operating table, of course, we don't need the whole operating table, like I mentioned in that little clip. But, you know, like the younger, burnt up Anakin, whenever he's getting the helmet on for the first time, that would be sick. But I liked your idea on this clip where you said about the Mustafar 2-pack. I feel like that would be a really good idea.
Yeah.
So
it's still a good idea. I'd love a Mustafar 2-pack. I'd love it if they had like lava glow paint or something. I don't know.
The lava effect. I mean, they had one like that back in the day. So
I know.
But yeah, so that's all the reveals. That's our thoughts on the episode 3 cards. I love them, but I feel like character selection could have been a little better. And the fact that those were the only 7, you know, unless we get some crazy exclusive that they don't want to spill right now. But for now, like, that's it. You know, could have been a little better, but I do still love it. So are you ready you want to talk about Andor a little bit before we... Should we do a Hall of Fame and then Andor, or Andor then Hall of Fame?
Let's do Andor and then Hall of Fame and then end it.
Okay. So Andor, we're going to jump into some Andor spoilers. Obviously, there's not anything crazy to spoil.
No, there really isn't.
So if you haven't seen it...
There's like one death, but there's...
Yeah, is it even a major death, though?
I mean, it's Brasso. Like, I like the Brasso.
I mean, yeah, but...
I don't know.
You know, on the tier of Star Wars characters, I feel like Brasso's got to be pretty far near the bottom.
I guess there's 2 deaths, now that I think about it. There's Cinta as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about
She was a miracle. But, here's the thing, man. There's so many good scenes in Andor, but, big but, I'm enjoying this season, but I think I like season 1 a little bit more at this
Oh wow.
at this point. You know, we're halfway through. There's like 12 episodes. We've had 2 3-episode arcs in both seasons. But I think I just like what I like about the first season is I like that everything kind of flows into one another. Whereas so far, and I think this is just a problem with the way they're doing season 2 with the time jumps, it feels more disjointed.
A little separated.
Yeah. Like I feel like there was so much I really wanted to see that happened after episode 3. And instead of seeing how some things played out, like Senta driving off with that guy and stuff, and you kind of know what's going to happen, but I kind of want to see it. Like I want to see how it happens. I want to see people's reactions.
That was the big letdown for me, not seeing that, because that would have been great.
And then we jump to a year ahead, and it's jarring where you have to go like, oh, okay, so what's different? Like what's happened? And they spoon feed you like what's different with. Look, I love, and we haven't, obviously we haven't talked about it because it's their first episode with Andor. Absolutely love Cyril and Deidre. Love them. It's so dumb, but I'm rooting for those two crazy lovebirds. Like
you're not supposed to.
Is their relationship real or not? I have no idea. But
they're so awkward.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, I'm really liking the show. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, go ahead. No, keep going. You go.
I was going to say my favorite parts of the show is the Empire stuff, specifically like Deidre, Paragaz, Cyril. I feel like now that he's working with them, I like him a little more. The Mon Mothma stuff is great. I feel like I'm still having a hard time caring about Cassian Andor. Like I don't know why. Like he's the main character of a Star Wars series for a season and a half at this point. I think it stems from like maybe. The rebellion's kind of always been like
because you know how his story ends.
Probably that might be it too, but
you know he doesn't die, so there's no stakes.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. The rebellion has also always kind of been my least favorite, not least favorite, but like the faction in Star Wars I'm interested in the least, at least with like the original 6 movies. I've always found like the heroes of the rebellion more interesting, and like all the villains and all the prequel, both sides really interesting. But I can't seem to care about anybody below like Mon Mothma's level on the rebellion side, and I don't really know why. So anytime, like I think they're doing a great job showing like the relationship between Bix and Cassian and all the things, all the trauma she's going through, and like the whole Brasso thing. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting there like I really don't care. I kind of wish it followed Mon Mothma like as the main character more, and then like the Empire, like what the Imperials are doing. But I do really like that Deidre is trying to find, Andor. Yeah. But I do really like. I don't care about Luthen at all, but I like his role that he's doing. Like with he's selling. His the really old pieces and like sneaking like listening devices, and I think that's really neat and cool. But I feel like I'm still having an issue like caring about Andor for some reason, and like even like when Saw Gerrera showed up, I was just kind of numb to it. I was like, I don't really care about Saw Gerrera. Like I guess he's cool, but
I like his little outfit with like bendy hose arms and legs. Like
yeah, he did like a Bendham figure. Yeah.
He's clearly kind of wearing his suit from Rogue One. Like that's the basis of what he's wearing. But I like that they're leaning into like clearly something happens. He's gonna lose a leg at some point. Like is he huffing oxygen or is he huffing Rhydonium because he's addicted to it? Like I found all of that fascinating.
He's addicted to the burn.
The whole time he's talking about that and getting the kid to huff the Rhydonium with him. My wife's like, what? What is happening? I'm like, he's like indoctrinating this kid. Like he's going off the wall. He's nuts. And I don't know. I loved it. I loved all of that. Like that's crazy. I just wish it were more cohesive. That's my big problem. Is I just wish season 2 felt a little bit more cohesive instead of disjointed. But I know that's kind of by in design. That's the intent.
Yeah. And I do want to say, have you noticed, and I haven't heard anybody else, like I haven't read anybody else picking up on this, but I feel like they've name dropped the Emperor 100 times this season, like especially from on the Imperial side. And I feel like Mon Mothma, maybe like some like rebellion people, some political, we had mentioned him also, but he's getting name dropped so much. I feel like we might get a tease of him like in a Senate chamber or something.
I don't think we'll see him. In fact, I think Tony Gilroy said something about how he didn't want to put the Emperor in it. And that could be a thing where he's like, yeah, but I did anyway. But like, I don't
could be. I just feel like
so many, they had to recast Bail Organa,
which is crazy. Like also he was in it for, if that's his only scene, then why even cast anybody? You know,
I have to feel like he's going to be in the next.
He's got to be.
Episode more. Yeah, I agree. If it's just that one scene, it seems like
then it's like, then why do it?
You didn't have to write that scene. You could have written that any other way. But
I guess they're name dropping the Emperor so much. Like I just kept picking up on it, and I was like, "There's no way he's showing up at some point, right? Like just to be like at the and like you'll see him like in the Senate. I don't think he'll give it a speech, but if you see like a hooded figure at the bottom or something, but maybe they're just name dropping him so much to know how important the project they're working on is to him. Project Unlimited Power." Which is crazy. It's so on the nose, especially coming off watching a Revenge of the Sith in theaters twice because he just screams it in the movie. But I do think for some reason, I thought this was going to lead up to the Gorman Massacre, but then we realized it's actually set after the Gorman Massacre, which for people who don't know,
I think there might be a second. I think there might be a second because
there might be a second.
I think there's a Gorman genocide. I think there's a Gorman Massacre. And then I think there's a Gorman genocide.
Geez, that planet really goes through it. Good Lord.
Yeah. It's a planet full of spiders, first of all. It should be genocided.
Oh, I want your thoughts on that.
Firstly, they're French. Secondly, there's a bunch of spiders. Like I don't know. I don't know if they should exist or not.
Whenever Krennic played that like weird old school infomercial, I thought about you for some reason. I was like, I feel like Mike really is loving this. Like Mike's gonna absolutely love this.
I did love it. I did. Yeah, it was good.
But I love Krennic in it. I love all the Imperial stuff. Like I'm rooting for Deidre, but we're not supposed to. And I do think like
how she treated his mom. Like he's. I don't know. Like I just like. But the funniest scene, I think the funniest scene in all of Star Wars is that cutaway to Cyril on the bed where he's like, I need to go take care of something. And then he just like smash cut to him, like just face down on the bed. I lost it. Like, I
everybody can relate.
I can relate to that so much.
Yeah. But I also thought it was also really interesting how when Paragaz told is it Partagaz? I don't know that dude's name. It's something Partagaz.
Yeah, Partagaz. I don't know. Something like that.
They could have gave him an easier name to remember and say, especially for podcast
they need
hosts
to give all
like
these
us.
guys name tags. They just put a little name
exactly.
on their shirt.
Yeah. But I thought it was neat how he reminded her that Cyril can't know, like what is actually going on. Which is a neat twist because I feel like maybe Cyril will find out and maybe a turn. I don't know. Like they'll turn on each other somehow. I feel like they might be setting up for that. But we'll see. Definitely interesting to watch. How do you feel about them doing the 3 episodes every week thing?
I love it.
You love it?
I do. It's like getting a little Star Wars movie every week.
Yeah. I wish they drop it at 9 Eastern though. That's so late. So I have to watch 2 and then 1 like the next day.
Because that's 6 o'clock here. So I think you can watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
Yes, but they drop it at 9, so I watched 2 of them. Like, man, I got to go to work in the morning. Like, it's really pushing it if I watch this last one. But I'm also not too worried about spoilers from Andor until like the final arc, probably.
We know what happens to Andor. Like
yeah,
he does not make it out of Rogue One, but he makes it to Rogue One. Like what could they possibly spoil? We know what's going to happen. I guess character deaths, like Bix isn't in Rogue One. Is she gonna die? Luthen isn't in Rogue One. Is he gonna die? Maybe, probably at some point. Like it wouldn't surprise.
Yeah, does Deidre find Andor at some point and
Right.
he escapes or something like that? But yeah, that's kind of where my focus is on the show. It's the Mon Mothma stuff. Like what's going to be the final straw to where she like fully goes, you know, and then because whenever she does, obviously in Rebels, she has that speech. Like what's going to like really set her off? Maybe the whole Gorman thing, I guess, if she finds out what's going on. And then like how Deidre's story ends. And I wouldn't mind like a Deidre show. Like if she becomes an even higher Imperial presence, you know, make a Deidre show following this that leads into the original trilogy time period. That'd be pretty cool.
You know, there was a point where I would say I wouldn't want a story entirely from the Imperial state like viewpoint, but I'm reading the newer Thrawn trilogies. I'm on book 3 right now. The Timothy Zahn trilogies that he wrote back in like 2019, 2020 or whatever. It's all from Imperial viewpoint, and I love it. It's so good. It's this might ruffle some feathers, but it's better than the original Thrawn trilogy from the early 90s. Like way better.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Not only is Timothy Zahn a better writer now, but because obviously he's got more access to like fleshed out canon, like it just meshes so well. It's so good. It's so good. It's good stories. I care about Thrawn way more as a character now than I ever did.
Interesting. It also makes me nervous though if they did something like that. Like if they didn't have Tony Gilroy on it, could anyone do it as good as he's doing it right now?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. You know.
I saw
I'm not
something
sure.
today that I don't agree with. I saw something on one of the social medias I'm on that says, like, if Andor is your favorite Star Wars, then you don't really like Star Wars. And that's saying, like, despite how good Andor is, like, it shouldn't be your favorite Star Wars. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Number one, it is Star Wars, and
It is
can be your
literally part of Star Wars.
It's literally part of Star Wars. And, like,
I mean, we've literally seen the Death Star at the end of season 1.
100%.
It's literally Star Wars.
This is part of Star Wars. This might just be content that's, or like storytelling style that's more up certain people's alleys than the fun swashbuckling adventures that we're used to. Like this is more of the spy espionage kind of side. And
Character
it's perfectly
building.
valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfectly valid storytelling style, and not everything has to be it, but it's still Star Wars. And if this is your favorite Star Wars, that's still fine.
Yeah.
It's still fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never going to be one to tell somebody what they can and can't enjoy.
100%.
You know?
100%.
So,
You could tell me the Star Wars holiday special, the Ewok Caravan of Courage is your favorite Star Wars. And I might think it's a little silly, but you know what? Awesome. I'm glad you like Star Wars.
yeah, exactly. But do you have any more thoughts on Andor you want to get out?
No, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I do think, I think season 1 is a little bit more enjoyable. Like think about what we were at the end of season 1. At this point, they had just done that heist, and that heist was incredible. Like,
Yeah, that was really good. Yep.
the prep work going into it and the heist itself, it was such a good little arc that. And then it went into the Narkina 5 arc, which was even better. So it's just one of those things, like, I don't know if season 2 will top it, but it's still really good. Like, I'm still really enjoying it, but I'm having a hard time not comparing it to season 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair because it's literally the same show,
Yeah.
you know? So I feel like season 2 is setting up for a great final arc. Like, I don't know how the next
so.
3 episodes are going to be, but I feel like with all the characters we have in play, like Director Krennic, Mon Mothma, I'm really interested in what Deidre and Cyril are doing right now, of course, and Partagaz, or whatever his name is, the guy from Game of Thrones, which I really want a figure of him, by the way. Black Series needs to see. I have a whole Imperial display here. It's these 3 right here. troopers, like gaming troopers, movie troopers, and all the officers with Vader and the Emperor up top. I need a party gas right there. So hopefully we get it sooner than later. I think it'd be a great looking Imperial officer figure. But I think the final 3 episodes are going to be really, really good. And that Gorman genocide, I guess is what you said, all that's going to go crazy. And to see how close we get to the Death Star being complete. And that's kind of something that'll tie into Revenge of the Sith, because at the end of episode 3, we see, obviously they jump forward in time quite a bit. We see the structure of the Death Star, so, and now we've seen, like, they're literally building the Death Star. So,
yeah. Well, so I think
people who think it's not Star Wars, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's definitely Star Wars. Yeah, that's one of those things, like, I don't know when that little scene takes place. Like, I always thought it was implied that, like, that was pretty soon after Revenge of the Sith ended, or like was like it wasn't like that far of a jump. And I think part of the issue with the Death Star isn't so much the construction of it, but getting the super laser to work.
Yeah,
was the big issue, and
the big issue.
Yeah.
And in episode 6, when they're like, "Oh, the weapon is fully operational," blah blah. So they got it done earlier than they did for the
There's like 4 years in between episode 4 and episode 6, and the Death Star is like almost done. Like, it's like 75% done.
Yeah. I don't know why for a second in my head I thought that. For a second I was like, I forgot that in the end credits of season 1, the Death Star was more complete than it was. But I was like, wait a second, they're only finishing up the laser.
Yeah, there was like the plate for the laser or whatever.
For some reason, I thought it was still like mostly the structure of it. But then I was like, wait, I think it's a mostly full Death Star. But then the laser was like, that's the part it showed going. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But you ready for the Hall of Fame?
I am, and I'm going to propose.
Wait, I gotta say our recent ones.
Sure.
So number 25 was Bespin Han, and number 26 was Zeb. So those are the last 2 we've added in. So what are you going to propose here?
I think we're bending the rules a little bit here, but I think it'll be okay.
I don't know about this.
Just by a little bit, and not really. And I'm going to suggest the Super Battle Droid.
That feels early.
A year ago is when the 2-pack with C-3PO and the Super Battle Droid came out. Okay.
Yep. The single pack didn't come out
until later, but it's basically the same figure. I wouldn't put the 2-pack on the Hall of Fame, but I would put the single card on the Hall of Fame. I think it's okay to bend the rules, since the mold came out a year ago, to put the single carded release, because it has also, I feel like, been long enough to where we know our position on the Super Battle Droid. And
that is true.
It's May the 4th. And it was, I think, a year ago that it got officially revealed. A year ago in April was our super stupid sexy battle droid
episode 66,
69.
Yeah, so 69, that's right. Yeah. Last May the 4th stream was so much better because we got the Maul, we got the Yoda chair pack, we got the Darth Maul.
Yep.
And this one, mostly stuff we've already seen, you know, and already have. So I forgot to put that on there. How did you feel like, do you feel like May the 4th should have been a bigger event? Because I really hyped myself up. And I know we mentioned it a little bit, but it was a gut shot when we didn't get the Anakin reveal.
I think normally it would have been a bigger event had Star Wars Celebration not happened. That doesn't happen every year. And if it does happen every year, it doesn't always happen, I think, around the same time. So,
yeah,
I think we got thrown off a little bit because it was basically like back to back, pretty decent reveal sizes. And Star Wars Celebration was an A plus. I think this was like a C minus.
I think that's kind of the range I'm in also. I just really thought this was going to be the one that we got the Anakin and Obi-Wan reveal. Like, it seemed like the community was building towards like, they're doing it for May 4th. Like, they didn't do it at Celebration. They got to do it at May 4th. And then we all hyped ourselves up so much. And it's just like the community at whole, like all my TikTok comments today are like, where's Anakin? Why didn't they do Anakin? But like, where's Anakin? Like, I feel everybody, I was on the ledge as well. I was upset. And I'm not going to lie. I was, maybe upset's a strong word, but I was genuinely let down. And I was like, I'm not even motivated to make a TikTok on this stuff right now. Like, I had to convince myself to do it. And then luckily, I got talked off a ledge. I'm not talking about that any further. Mike knows what I'm talking about. So, we know Anakin and Obi-Wan are coming. It's been, on the X list forever. We've seen the leaks. It's just a matter of when.
I mean, he said it on our show.
He said it on our podcast over a year ago. But I think the big gut shot for me is that it's not going to be on this card. And that's really what I've been wanting forever, is like an Anakin on this card.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Took that away from you a little bit.
You never know.
I think that's what hurt the most.
Yeah, like it was the moment they said these are the last two.
Yeah.
Was really like somebody ripped my lungs out. Like that was it. That was the moment.
I get that.
Yeah. Where is Anakin? Is he safe? Is he all right? But all right, back to the Hall of Fame. So I'm just gonna go ahead and agree. I feel like the Super Battle Droid is a great enough of a figure to, since the body came out a year ago, and then of course we're gonna throw in the one with the that came with the single pack with the blast effect. So I mean, Super Battle Droid, if any figure is gonna get in a little early, it's gonna be this guy right here that I still have on my desk, because that's how amazing he is. Yeah. So that will be number 27. I got to post a couple of these because I've just been so busy posting other episode 3 stuff. And I don't like to post more than once a day because stuff gets buried. There's so many reveals and things going on with the episode 3 anniversary. But so I'll write that down so I don't forget when I get around to posting these. And that is going to do it. SBD. All right. Well, that was a great episode. Now that the mid the 4th reveals are behind us.
Mid the 4th. That should have been the title, but no, I think Where's Anakin is good.
Mid the 4th. I mean, you can make it the audio title, but Where's Anakin still good?
I could. Mid the 4th.
Mike, for any new listeners, because it's May the 4th, I expect we'll have a good amount of new listeners. Where can they find you across the socials?
Yeah, Mike Case on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on Threads, I guess, as well. And my YouTube channel is probably my biggest platform. If you want to see me review figures and whatnot, I did a Savage Opress review. That's going to be my last review for a little bit because I am in the process of moving. For the people watching, you can see behind me that my shelves are barren for the most part because I am packing up and getting ready to move to Illinois. So as soon as I get that up and move and set up, the reviews will return. I promise. But it's hard to do both. Anyways, that's where you can find me. I'm also on TikTok, Mike Case 82, just in case you're curious.
There you go. You can follow me on Instagram at blackseriescantina. You can follow me on TikTok at Star Wars Black Series. I just hit 26,000 followers on there, and all the episode 3 stuff I've been posting has been blowing up and doing great. So I appreciate everybody who's liking and commenting and following over there. Join our Facebook. That's where you'll get most of the updates about our show and when we're starting to record. You can join. It's a private group and a lot of cool discussions going on in there. That's Black Series Cantina. Join our Patreon if you really want to support us in a financial way. If you can't support us financially, leaving a comment or a rating on the podcast really helps. That helps boost it in the podcast algorithms. But if you want to support us by buying some merch, we have some great new merch. And our classic logo is also on some really high quality merch. And I'm not even saying this to promote like buying our merch, but the quality of stuff that's coming from Spray Shop is great. I bought a figure ball shirt from there. I bought a long sleeve t-shirt from them, and it is like amazing. I'm incredibly impressed. I couldn't be happier with how this stuff is turning out. The Teespring stuff was just kind of okay, but this stuff is on a whole nother level. Like, look at the quality of this hat. Like, this is premium, and it was like $23, I think. Like, look at that. That is so good. Nice, soft, long sleeve shirt. I got the hoodie on the way and the hat for the classic logo, our main primary logo. This is just a temporary alt logo for the anniversary, which I kind of like that. I think
before it goes away, get it before it goes away.
Yeah, there you go. I do kind of like this. Every time there's an anniversary, they're doing card backs for figures. I would try to make our logo something similar to it for a little bit, and then of course in between, then we'll always have our classic Black Series Cantina logo with Figuring Dan wailing away, playing his jizz tunes. What are they called? What, jizz wailing? Yeah, jizz wailing.
Jats. They changed it to Jats now.
Oh, did they? Lame.
Yeah.
Lame. Kathleen Kennedy, woke mob. All right, I'm done. That's a joke, by the way, for people who don't understand sarcasm listening. So also keep the email segment alive, blackseriescantina@gmail.com. Keep sending us some fun emails to go over, and we'll be back probably in 2 weeks to talk about, I doubt there's going to be Black Series news. Well, there is going to be one figure revealed. We'll talk about it next time. It's the ISP Trooper, but, you know, we've seen it. But,
yeah.
So that's going to be it for today. I hope everybody had a great May the 4th. And hopefully Anakin and Obi-Wan come sooner than later.
Fingers crossed. We'll see you later. Bye.